Boom. We up in this motherfucker as per usual. I hope your tacos are tasty this fucking Tuesday. Because Taco Tuesday is important, goddamn it. It's more important than Christmas. You get it more times than Christmas per year. And goddamn it, you don't have to suffer a bad Christmas again until next year. But Taco Tuesday coming next week, bitch. So Taco Tuesday is fucking amazing. What's going on in the chat? We have Mistress Rogue, how you doing? Diane Young is here. Cinna Bunny is in this building. We have Poison Ivy, and we got Camille. y'all always in this motherfucker. Let me see what's going on. Cause let me tell y'all something. I appreciate the fuck out of y'all. You ladies are amazing. What's going on, Miss Angie? Y'all come from a group of women, right? You were raised around a group of women that are dizzy as fuck. They're dizzy, they're confused, but make no mistake about it, they're smart as well when it comes to books and seeing the fuck shit in you as a black woman. They can see that. But the dumb shit is prevalent with them when it comes to the black community. And that includes the mammies. Because I told you, I kind of see the mammies as dusties. They kind of are interchangeable depending on what's going on. Because when mammies are not lusting after dusties and they're doing their best dusty impression, that bitch is on point. She's on point. You come from a community where the thinking that you have right now is unacceptable. As a matter of fact, it'll turn you into a pariah. You'll get clowned. You'll be called weird. an outsider, a traitor, a bedwench, a stupid bitch, whatever. So this is what I'm saying. Who want a piece of this action? Let's go ahead and decline that. It's not acceptable to think the way you do at all, coming from that fucking community. And the fact that y'all think different, I applaud you. But check this shit out. There's some black women that even with the receipts, they are bought and sold on everything that's going on with so-called white supremacy, with so-called oppression, discrimination, police brutality, and all that shit. We have had it to where black women will march for criminals. They'll write the name of the criminal on the placard, right? Or on their poster board, walk around and say, let's just make up somebody because I don't want nobody in their feelings. Charles Wilson, justice for Charles Wilson. Now, Charles Wilson is somebody that beat a bitch ass, put a gun up to a pregnant woman, did Confederate bill. I'm sorry. How you say it? What the fuck? Counterfeit bills. There it is. Did counterfeit bills. Big time drug addict. Socially unacceptable. Fighting the cops. Not there for his children type shit. But you take your Sharpie, make a placard, and walk around with this criminal's name on it. These are the type of mammies that if you think about it, that shit right there is scary as fuck. You're doing that in front of the cops. But check this shit out. As soon as his gun is pointed at you, not the cop, Charles Wilson. As soon as Charles Wilson is either beating you down or has his gun pointed at you, those same people that you were in their face, calling them all types of pigs and everything, you want them to spring into action to make sure that you're safe. You're going to have to flip it. Think about one of your friends. You're always trying to help her. You're always, you have a good word for her, protecting her from bullshit, helping her out in financial situations. But every chance she gets when they're dusty around, she'll throw you up under the bus. You got to understand that this is how the cops feel about you, black women, right? If you are constantly cussing them the fuck out, beating them down, suing them, making a bad name for them, and then you want them to spring into action whenever the dick ain't good no more, that's a problem. You would not let anybody do that shit to you. You know you wouldn't. You would feel used, abused, unappreciated, and you'll be trying to get the fuck away. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Fuck it. Because there's some women that went hard for the black community. Okay. Went hard. Got bunions. Got real bad crow's feet and black marks up under their eyes for the black community. Let's see what they got. Because we might be missing something. We might want to be mammies. Let's see what we got. Now, yes, of course, divest. This was this week, okay? 91-year-old civil rights activist stabbed in Boston Park. Now, can you imagine putting yourself through all this shit with black people for at least, let's just say 60 years, because she's 91. Let's pretend like she started when she was 30. 6 fucking decades for your community. You get up to go walk your fucking dog in that same community who you were a community activist for, who you were trying to make sure they got education, that they were accepted in white folk school. Oh, and don't forget, you were the first black woman on the education board in Boston. You take your dog Bailey outside because that's what you've been doing in that local park for years. And you can't even make it back home in that community without being stabbed. Let me look at the comments here, because you don't understand. This right here is some bullshit. This is not something that happened in history. This shit happened this past week. Let me see. Come on, StreamYards. Don't try to hide the girls from me. The fuck you got going on? Don't make her up on me now. She says, shocker. Wow. 91 years a slave. Absolutely. Okay. So I don't know how much she survived, y'all. She survived this. But had she not survived this, she's 91. It's tough to bounce back from anything. It's tough to bounce back from dirty looks when you're 91 years old. She survived this shit. It just lets me know that she's a different breed. This woman is tough, but she shouldn't have had to have suffered this shit after fighting all her life for Black people. Aaliyah, jump in here because this fixing to get real nasty.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what they want, or what they win. They get free participation trophies, trips to their primary care physicians, free trips to the emergency rooms or the ICU, free comas, free candlelit visuals, murals, or memorials, flowers included. The flowers included, expedited funeral arrangements and burials, a lifetime of trauma, heartache, and pain, and they have an unlimited supply of ass whoopings to look forward to if they make it. And let's not forget how gracious the community is to Black women for their hard work and dedication, and how grateful the Black man is for all your sacrifice. So, particularly when they tell you that nobody even asked you to march for them in the first place. So, you sure do stand to gain a lot for your community activism. And I think we've already spoken about these women before who dedicated their lives to this and how little they've gotten in return. And it just reminds you that no good deed goes unpunished. And I did read this story and it reminded me somewhat of Sadie Roberts Joseph. You remember that activist from Baton Rouge,
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana? She
Mm-hmm.
was an organizer of the annual Juneteenth celebration, and she also helped to organize celebrations from several other organizations. Yet she was still strangled or smothered, thrown in the trunk of her car, and then the car was left on a dead end road, and all because she tried to help a neighbor that couldn't even pay her $1,200 in rent. So
I
he decided
remember
it was
that.
just easier to get rid of her. And she was
Mhm.
75 years old. And so that goes to show you that they have no respect for children
Let
or
me say this.
elders.
Let me say this, and you're right about that. Um, Let me put some respect on this woman's name. Her name is Jean McGuire. I didn't say her name because I was too fucking excited to get into the bullshit. Because no matter what your name is, you gonna get fucked playing around with the Black community. That's just how it is. They are a group of crustaceans at the bottom of a bucket. And the time they see you move anywhere, they're gonna pull you back down. Make your move silent. You don't have to do all this shit that this woman did. I wonder if you asked her right now, if you can go back, would you do this shit again? Would you do this shit again? That would be the last thing if I was her nurse that I would ask her when she was on her way out, trying to see what she said, because this is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Wait a
Oh,
minute. Wait a minute. They did this to Harriet Tubman. They
mm-hmm.
did this to Rosa Parks. They
We
did,
get. Oh, don't worry, we getting there. We
yeah,
getting there.
yeah.
We getting there. Um, let's go down just a little bit more. Do y'all remember this lady here? This is 27-year-old Sasha Johnson. Now, let me tell you something. Shout out to BBC for putting that little blurb right here where it says for Black men, because everybody else was dancing around the subject. Okay, this lady here, she is a 27-year-old that when you don't talk pro-Black, well, she was a 27-year-old that when you don't talk pro-Black and everything's about oppression and shit like that, she'll call you a coon to your face. She was completely pro-Black, fists in the air, until she went to a party where those niggas was, and then this is the result of that. Fist in the air. She can't even lift her fucking fist up anymore because all of her brain is not there. Nobody's doing time for this. The dudes that they arrested, those charges were dropped. Her family are trying to get the charges picked up again, but nobody's doing time for this. She lost an eyeball. Why is the eyeball the constant in a lot of these situations? So, niggas must not like y'all eyeballs, but she lost the eyeball and a whole hemisphere of her body does not move anymore. I wonder if we could talk to her and ask her if she could go back. Would she do it again? Go ahead, Ebony.
Okay. Now see, this is the epitome of that. This is staring everybody in the face. And you know what? That was a Roland Martin. Did he say anything about this?
I don't remember him saying
Did
anything about
did,
it.
did BET? This is my point. Where's BET's story? See, that's my point. And Aaliyah forgot about the fish fry they're gonna hold for your funeral. She forgot about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And the chicken. Now, you get nothing in return for giving everything. You get less than nothing in return for giving everything. And black women will get up there and go, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. But when has a black woman got any justice or any peace from Blackistan?
Somebody asked in the comment section, is she dead? No, but you know what? I bet she wished she was. This woman was vibrant. The good things that she did, she helped the hungry and that type of shit. I don't even recommend doing that type of shit, honestly. Aaliyah, you off mute. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just about to say I don't think she's dead, so to speak, but that woman has been in a coma for over a year now.
She's
So if
done.
she hasn't woken up by now, I hate to be the negative one, but I just it don't look good. She's been in a coma way too long. I'm
Well,
sorry.
her family are holding on.
Mhm.
Well, throw yourself on mute real quick, Aaliyah. Her family is holding on the same way mammies are holding on to black men getting better. They don't see what's right in front of them. Going into that hospital room and seeing her head like that, if that was my sister, I'd have had them pull that plug, because if I know my sister, she wouldn't want to live like that. If she was vibrant, right, just living her best life out loud, whether I agree with it or not, I'm not going to let her live the rest of her life like this. Period. Do you know, y'all fixing to hold on to your seatbelt? Do you know that the people, because she's in the UK, after all of that shit, motherfuckers was ready to deport her ass back to the country she came from, because they said she's gonna cost too much money to take care of if the family doesn't decide to pull the plug. If that's not ungrateful, I don't know is. They're done. The black men there are not putting up any funds to help with that goddamn crisis, even though she put herself in a way and trying to get these doggy biscuits. Y'all, she also was a single mother. Anybody want to talk about that? Anybody want to talk about that? The nigga she had the kids by, he's nowhere around. Of course he's not, right? Because that's just what they do. Kyra, hello.
Good evening, DZ. Good evening, ladies.
Hey.
Hello?
I have a question. Where are all these good black men? Where are all these unicorns that other folks like to tout all the time? Like, shouldn't they have? Should that's what isn't that what good men are supposed to do? They're supposed to check the bad ones. So for this woman here, Sasha, where are all those unicorns in the UK to go find and check those four black men that hemmed her up like this? And let's also talk about the fact that she chose the shitlog over her own child.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But isn't that what they do? Isn't that what they do? I'm scared to even look at one, because that shit has y'all bitches in a daze. I'm talking about you are in a daze to the point where it's almost like you're hypnotized, following commands. You're on like this puppet string, and it's so fucking weird. It really is. Shane, you got anything on this before I go to the next dumbass?
No, the ladies have said everything that I want to say.
All right,
Uh,
let's go.
Can
could
I
I?
say something
Sure,
after
go ahead.
Kyra?
I wanted to add about Jean McGuire. This is gonna sound ugly, but she's an example of someone being older without being an elder. Like she's 91 years old. She's seen all the bullshit of black male degeneracy, and she's still pushing the same shit like she doesn't even know any better.
That's the delusion that they're in. They're hypnotized. I swear to God. That's why I'm so afraid of their asses, because they don't. It's like they block it out. You know.
I
Yeah,
Okay.
think that, but
All
I
right.
think that. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say I thought the UK niggers said that it's the black people in America that's messing up. I thought the UK niggers were perfect. I thought there were no niggers in UK. What's going on over there?
If you see a dusty or a mammy's mouth moving, just be careful with what's coming out, because it's usually some bullshit. Okay.
What I want to say is, I am an elder. I'm about to be another year older, thank God.
Yes.
But I think the only reason I even made it this far is because I am Naker free. There
Yeah.
is no, I have no periphery of Nakers. I have no Blackistan around me. And that is the only way that I can stand up with my head up and my shoulders straight and look people in the eye and tell them the truth.
Yeah. It's sad, but like I said, that goddamn sympathy is going out the window. When you end up with your head looking like a cereal bowl and the information was out there, look, I went there, god damn it, I went there. When it looks like you could get Captain Crunch and milk poured inside your head and it functions, you got me fucked up out here fighting for these motherfuckers. Huh?
I
Lord.
think that, I think that when she's 91 years old, she's of that old school of thought that they still have a certain honor or a code of ethics. You know how it used to be, but she just don't understand that these are not this. I mean, they do not care. Elders don't mean anything to them. Children don't mean anything to them. Black women in general, regardless of age, don't mean anything to them. And I think that that's what it is. That's that disconnect as far as being out of touch with reality when you get to be her age. She's still thinking about they have that old, uh, you know, code of ethics where women and children were off limits. No, ma'am. These men do not give a fuck.
Well,
Absolutely.
women and children were never off limits, dear. Never. Ask my grandmother, ask my great grandmother, ask my great great grandmother, ask my mother if
Ask
she was still
mine.
here.
Shit, my
And
great grandparents had a shootout with each other. Pull up. That's ridiculous. Go ahead, Chantel. Chantel, it's on you, boo.
Oh, Chanel, my bad. Oh, yeah, and for her to be 91 years old and to be a mammy, she better count her days, because to be a mammy that old and to deal with so many nakers in her life, she better be glad that not one of them did take her out, and she better be lucky she didn't end up with a cereal bowl.
Mm,
the
mm,
thing
mm.
is, as you get older, you're supposed to take an information and pivot with that new information. The fact that she made it to 91 on the same bullshit she had when she was 20 years old is really damning.
I honestly think that they're embarrassed that their men don't perform like other groups of men. And you could talk all that shit about the taco men you want to. They're still, even though they're trash, are performing better than your men. That's all I got to say about that. Okay? They're still performing better than Tyrone and Gloctavius. I know it hurts. It is what it is, though. Now, this bitch here. We talked about her once before. She took her ass to a march, of course. She all up in the police face. Let me scroll down a little bit. She all up in their face. The nigga behind her can't be bothered. He looked like he probably watching the sunset, right? People are tolerating you at this point. Do you know how stupid this is to be standing in front of somebody that's armed to the teeth, doing what she's doing right there? Why? Why? I haven't seen a march this passionate for you, bitch. I haven't, and we won't. But here's the deal. They went on ahead and arrested this whore, okay? Because she was disturbing the peace, and they charged her with a felony. Well, her court date was down the road, so she had time to go ahead and fuck and get pregnant by one of the Dusties while she's waiting on her court date. Now, I don't know whether she thought the court was gonna have pity on her, because if she showed up, I don't know what it was, but she showed up pregnant and they locked her ass up anyway. She's in there right now, getting ready to give birth at any minute, trying to get her lawyer to get the judge to let her go home to give birth because she claims she's ill. There's so much to unpack there. Now, you're asking white folks, you know, those white folks that you in front of right there, hooping and hollering for a group of men that don't give a fuck about you. Yeah, that part. You're asking them, can you go home so that the white hospital, because, you know, if you're having problems, that's where you're going to end up going. You better not go to no goddamn hotel ass tub full of water bullshit. You better not do that shit, Yoni egg, because you already sick, right? So you need them right now. This picture is going to be on the internet forever. And unfortunately, it represents us too. That's why I have so much problems with mammies. Dead serious. Because I would never do anything like what's in this picture. You got me fucked up. I wouldn't even be what the niggas doing in the back looking off to the side. I wouldn't do any of that shit. I would be sitting down and probably with a Captain Crunch bowl. Yeah, I went there. Chilling. But these same people that you beating the fuck up, now you have a felony. Now you're getting ready to give birth in jail, prison, I might add. You're not going to see that kid until he or she is 3 years old. You fucked up your whole life for a criminal. For a criminal. Aaliyah?
And I'm sure she'll, receive all the support from the community. Even when she gets out, there'll be, GoFundMe's for her because, she won't be able to get a job because she'll be a convicted felon after all. So I'm sure they're going to take good care of her, put money on her books for commissary. She'll be straight. Yeah, they're really going to look after her. She's really going to find out all of her hard work was for absolutely nothing. These women don't stand to gain anything from this shit. Now she's a felon.
Can I say something? I'm gonna be honest. Okay. And you guys have said it over and over again, but the 91-year-old lady, she was a 1938 preference. Okay. So no, that's a good looking woman. Okay. All right.
I can't.
So she was probably treated halfway okay for a few decades. Okay. Now, this woman yelling at that hot looking cop.
He is fine, ain't he? God.
I'd have been licking his face. I'm sorry. But she is of the phenotype that they would kick to the curb in a minute. But she has given up everything.
Yeah.
For this.
Even her edges.
Yeah, her braids are kind of far back. Honestly, they are far back. Yeah, we can be petty like that. Y'all, listen, do y'all remember when the so-called bed wench or whatever was first becoming popular as a term? How they would put those memes up with some black woman with some really fucked up looking weave saying that this is what your weave look like when you fuck white boys. Remember that? Okay, I remember that. So those edges, they gonna get spoke upon when you doing dumb shit like this. I'm not sorry. The edges are not there. Yeah, stress make you lose hair. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
I have no hope for you, DZ. If you talk about a cereal bowl head and now you're talking about people's edges, I'm done with you. I'm done.
You can't talk about edges that ain't there. Whole thing. And she pregnant. Pregnancy makes you lose hair too. That motherfucker gonna let me shut up. Hey Kyra, I know you got something on this. I'm being petty tonight.
Well, I'm sure that the baby's father is going to be more than happy and more than willing to step up to the plate and take care of this child.
Who that?
I know you didn't even say that one with a straight face.
Well, remember, black men are the most involved fathers. So, and we know that they love responsibility and accountability. So we know that Tyrone or Daquan or whomever she fucked, or maybe it was a Tune Day, is going to take responsibility for
this Mute Kyra mic. Let's go ahead and ban Kyra. You gonna have to mute your mic. You so off the chain, y'all. Oh,
I have something real quick, ladies.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this and she is getting 4 years. Mm-hmm. It's ironic. Nakers are getting out with zero to pay and bail after murdering you, but all you did was holler in somebody's face. You didn't even say that she even touched them, and you locked up for 4 years.
Boom, that part. And not even her baby daddy is fighting for her.
That's another door prize they won from Memian, getting jail sentences for the Nakers.
Absolutely. I guess, people get what's coming to them because, mammies and them, they love talking about karma. Well, you didn't, if you were a fighter, should have fought for other black women. That's what you should have did. But now the Nakers got it easy. They can sign out with their own name and come home and whoop your ass again. Congratulations. Right? Woman shot in Raleigh. identified as 60-year-old community activist. Let's look at her. Fist up, and there she is. She's no longer with us. Everybody else we spoke of tonight, they're still here. She's done. She's from Memphis, Tennessee, right? And here's the kicker, y'all. One of the mammy studs is what got her. Let me shut up for a second, because I don't think you heard me. One of the mammy studs got her in a carjacking of an Infiniti. I said, get out of these people's neighborhoods and let them deal with what they're dealing with on their own. May the chips fall where they may. Let it happen. It's not your business. Okay? From what I understand, this was a very nice woman. Will give you the shirt off her back, right? But she's no longer here because she had to make sure niggas was comfortable and, being treated with some goddamn respect. But here we are.
Okay, I gave up on all of that when I was working in a soup kitchen in my 20s. And there were some black dudes who were like trying to follow me home. They were, really harassing me. And I went to the organizers and said, look, these guys won't leave me alone. They said, ma'am, we cannot protect you. I did not go back ever. That was the end of my activism in the black community.
I never did it.
Are these, you mean like studs, like the BLM chicks?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The completely male identified studs. Make no mistake about it, just because she's a woman, if she identifies with that black man, you better get the fuck away from that whore too. Okay.
You know what really grinds my gears about these women is that these will be the same type of women that'll be sitting up on their asses talking about how much they do for the community and you don't do shit, and how you're the C word, or you're a sellout, or you're this or you're that, because you walked away from that bullshit and you don't want no parts of it because you know what that leads to. They want to sit up and try to talk shit to you or try to shame you, talking about, I do this and I do that for my community and my people this and my people that. And it's always, them talking down. But then this is how the same people you did all this shit, this is how they repay you. This is how they always repay you. Just keep that in mind.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you scroll down a little bit before you got to that lady?
Okay.
Scroll back down to the headline.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Okay, stop. You see that thing on the right? Those sparkly things? See, those are what I want. Okay? All right. My community is not going to get me that. So I went elsewhere. Done.
Period. By the way, smart ass motherfuckers, Google usually tries to curtail your Google searches. I'll just put that right there and leave that alone and stop being a bitch about the situation. Okay, your advertisements come from your algorithm. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. But I hate that this lady is gone, but she died doing what she loved. Point blank, period. Chanel, you got anything on this?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to all the black women on the panel in UDZ, because you guys are waking up the younger black women that don't want to deal with these niggas. And I'm glad that I'm not going to be wasting my tender years for them. And I'm definitely not going to be no type of activist.
Look, I'm proud of you. When these bitches sit up here and brag about them doing activism and that type of shit. And my question is always this, braggadocious bitch. Why is it necessary? Why does that type of work have to be done in your community? What's wrong with your community where they need a woman to come out here and, be an activist? Oh, you want to talk about it? It's because your men suck. Your men suck. So you out here getting bunions, bitch. And you out here being mad at everybody the fuck else. I have a lady that's on my Patreon. She says they have King Kong moments. She had me screaming. You had a King Kong moment, right? So I don't have time for this bullshit. I'm not going to brag about fighting for somebody that wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire. And that's your situation, whether you want to agree with the shit or not. Okay?
Why not be an activist for yourself? Why not get for you? Why do you have to, I gotta help the community? And I don't know how many freaking black social workers I know. And I'm like, why? Why? I mean, I understand you want to help and you want to bring something positive. But if all you're getting back is shit, stop Stop putting the bucket in the ocean. It's not helping you.
I want to add, see, Ebony, you keep forgetting. They're not really interested in helping the black community. They're interested in black men because
Mm-hmm.
their activism is always concerned with, let's keep it real, black community initiatives or concerns are always centered around the black men.
Okay,
So
see, I don't understand that at all. Okay, I don't get it. All right. Okay.
Listen, y'all. I refuse to tear up this woman's name. Okay, so we're just gonna call her Toyin, right? For out of respect or whatever. Let me set this up. Okay, let's go down just a little bit because you see what happened. She was found dead, but a lot more happened before that. Okay, this right here is Miss Toyin. Okay, before any of this shit happened, she had a passion for police brutality. Let me tell you this again. She had a passion for fighting police brutality. That was her little niche in the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, during her activism, she had to call the police because she was SA'd by the people she was fighting for. She lived through that. It is what it is. And then she got back up, back on her bunions, and started fighting again. But this time, no more. The very men that she's fighting for or was fighting for took her the fuck out. They found her body and another woman's body, an elderly white woman, make sense, body in this man's house. The police said that this man was well on his way to being a serial killer. Okay? She was only 19 fucking years old. She has not been able to buy a martini, right? Legally in this country yet. And she will never experience that. There's so many milestones that she won't get. She don't get the good rates on car insurance because that happens at 25, right? Your life goes into perspective when you're approaching 30, right? All these little milestones. She'll never have a family. She'll never have kids. Now, I don't know whether she wanted a family and kids. It is what it is. But if these were her dreams, I'm sure she wanted to turn 30. It didn't happen. It's not going to happen. I want you to take a look at her face while she's being an activist. And then let's go down just a little bit more when she's chilling. Looks like two different people, doesn't it? Stop fighting for that community. Those two pictures look like two different fucking people because guess what? When you taking care of yourself and putting yourself first, you look a little different. Your skin's a little different. Your face is a little different. Your aura is a little bit different. Pull up. Pull up. Aaliyah.
I'm actually glad you brought up Victoria Sims because I noticed that a lot of times when people talk about what happened to Toyin, they totally dismiss what happened to the 75-year-old white lady that the Naker also murdered because both of those bodies were discovered together. But I mean, there really isn't much that can be said about this. That this woman here, well, should I say girl, because she was only 19 years old, she had a rough life. She had a hard, hard life. And her family, they were not there for her. They completely abandoned her. And then the way that they tried to capitalize off her death after the fact, I mean, these people they are not shit, Black women. They do not care about you. And to be honest with you, you are worth more to them dead than you are alive. And that's just the truth of the matter. And they try to sit up here and talk and apply that to the men because once again it's all about the men and everything that happens to them like they're the most important thing in the world, but when it comes to you, same thing. And to be honest with you, even in death they don't even give you what you deserve or what you're worth. Look at Breonna Taylor. They look at how much George Floyd got millions and millions of dollars. I don't even think Breonna Taylor got half of
Well,
what
her
he
boyfriend, the one that used her as a shield, he got the
got.
money. It was settled out of court. I don't know how much he got, but it was paid to him.
I'm talking about as far as the contributions from the GoFundMe's and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that from the
Mm-hmm.
people. See, this is how you can tell how much your life is really worth to them, even in death. This is what they think about you. No matter what type of woman you were when you were alive, no matter what you stood for, and you could have lived your life in service to this community and trying to make things better for your people, and your own people will turn around and treat you like this and abandon you and every damn thing else. Like I said, this girl had it rough in her own family. I just was so sickened by
Yeah.
it after the fact. Because how could you didn't do shit for this girl. This woman was homeless. And
Yep.
y'all got the balls to be collecting money? I
And
was done.
that's another thing about the abandonment. A lot of black women most are abandoned at some point in their lives. Let's just be real about it.
At least by one person.
At
At least.
least by one person, at least
Hmm.
one parent, something.
Yep.
Okay? Because when I graduated college, I was homeless.
Mm.
Okay? And then everybody jumped on my ass because I didn't think the way they did.
I
They
think
didn't want me around.
I think a lot of these women that be going through this shit, they're looking for somebody to love them. Unfortunately, Toyin was looking for love in all the wrong places. The fact of the matter is the black community does not like black women. They don't. They don't like you but one way, and that's muling. And they don't even like you then. You remember when the niggas was telling y'all, you ain't got to march for me. You ain't got to do all that. They've practically begged you to leave. Somebody put up a clip today, not today, yesterday, and they sent it to me. One of her subscribers sent it to me, and it was Corey Holcomb sitting his motherfucking ass on there being all the way real, telling people that he and other black men like him don't like the kids that come out of y'all if they not in love with y'all. So they don't like you nor your children. As a matter of fact, you're a nuisance to them. You're a hindrance to them. They see you as a blockade in front of their way. That's why when you're pregnant or you just gave birth, it's a dangerous time to be dealing with a nigga. But y'all know that, right?
I mean, how many times have we told them that these niggas don't like them or the children? I mean, how many times? I guess it'll be true and it'll make sense to them now that one of them actually said it. So, because it takes a black man to say everything. So, I guess now that he said it, now it'll be true. Because we've been saying they don't like children and they don't like you.
Period.
So,
So
hey,
you are disposable. You are disposable. I'm sorry. I just would like to have all the black men get the white cheerleader in the sky, their goals, let them have it. You move on and live your life as you see fit.
Hmm.
You're nobody's animal. You're not to be deleted when you're no longer useful, like a program.
I
Yeah.
wanted to add about the Breonna Taylor case, and about a little bit about Toyin. You remember with Breonna Taylor, black folk. First of all, BLM was trying to push past that. They weren't really trying be to take up her cause. It was really black women who kept their feet on the fire for that. Let's keep
absolutely,
that
yeah.
real.
Yep.
And
And oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
remember, oh, me or
You go, and then it'll be on Chanel.
okay. And remember with Breonna Taylor, they were trying to blame her for having that type of boyfriend.
Yup.
Whereas, Charles Floyd, he could be he was, well, we're not supposed to blame Charles Floyd for being high on fentanyl and for committing a crime by using counterfeit bills. But Breonna Taylor, well, she got she deserved what she got because of the boyfriend she had.
Yeah, and they were very disrespectful about that, calling her a trap queen and everything else. And that woman was a professional. She was a paramedic, and they was trying to. I agree with her choice in men? Obviously not. And there's no way in hell she was too good for him. But the fact that they was end up calling her a trap queen, I just thought that was so fucking disrespectful. But hey, that's what we get, even in there.
Yep, and let's be honest. If this lady didn't make it on the news, she would have been another part of the black women statistics of bodies unidentified, or she just would have been a part of the black missing group that nobody wants to talk about. And I think it's sad how people capitalize if it involves clout.
Yeah, you're gonna see a whole bunch of that. We see it all over YouTube. Whatever is supposedly popular or the easy thing to get into a crowd with, that's what they're gonna say. Whether it calls your life or not, a lot of people are building platforms on top of black women's skulls and not telling them the truth about what's actually the feeling that black males and the black community as a whole have for black women that don't think the way they do. Right? Let's see who we got next up this motherfucker. Do we all know this lady here? Do we know her and her arrest number 7053? She's a little known woman named Rosa Parks, right? Okay, let's keep going down here. Let me get this shit off of here. Oh, that's her in her older years. She passed away in 2005, ladies. If for those, I'll just let me go ahead and be ignorant. For those of you that don't know, she's the reason that the boycott of buses happened with black people having to sit in the back. And it was a whole shenanigan. Just look up Rosa Parks. That's the first thing that's going to come up. But what's not going to come up is this. What's not going to come up is this. This woman is a legend in the black civil rights movement. A legend. A legend. But check it out. She ended up in 1994 being robbed and beaten. For the mammies in the clouds. Well, he might have not known who she was. Let's keep going. That's the article from then, and I didn't enlarge that. I apologize for that. Suspect in Rosa Parks robbery recognized her, police say. It says, I can't, y'all. Joseph Skipper, right? He asked her, aren't you Rosa Parks? She said, yeah. He started robbing her. I shit you not. Kyra.
Yes, ma'am. So this happened in 1994. And as you see, he knew it was Rosa Parks. He decided to rob her anyways, rob her and beat her. And what I want to know, you know that this dude is still alive. So where are all these good black men that you mammies keep saying exist? Why haven't they dealt with this dude?
And they had ample opportunity, and I'm going to tell you why. This is not the last elderly person he beat the fuck up, okay? So he was around other niggas in prison several times. But that was his MO, beating up old women and taking their shit, okay? So I'm tired of the excuses. I am. I'm really tired of it. It doesn't matter. We went from the age of 19, because we're not going to talk about the kids right now, because y'all already know what's up with the kids. These women on here were aged 19 to 91, all community activists, and they all end up suffering misfortune with the nigger. So when I say hashtag all, that's what the fuck I mean. That's exactly what the fuck I mean. Aaliyah, it's on you.
I mean, I have no words. How low do you have to be to beat up Rosa Parks? I mean, it's not funny. They just have no damn respect for anybody. I mean, you would look at this woman and he knew who she was clearly. So it's not even a case of mistaken identity where you can say, well, maybe he didn't know she was Rosa Parks, civil rights icon. Bullshit. He knew exactly who she was and he still did it. That lets you know they don't have any respect for you, your title, your accomplishments, nothing. They don't give a shit.
In
Yeah,
So
fact, Claudette Colvin was going to be that she was 16 years old, black girl, who was raped by an R-worded by an older man. She refused to give up her seat, but they chose Rosa
Mm-hmm.
because of the look and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that the girl had been pregnant and unwed.
Not only was she pregnant with the dude was over age, it wasn't another child. That was a grown ass man that got that little girl pregnant. How about that part? But
He
I
was
know you're not.
35, she was 16.
Period. Period. So when people say this shit is new in the black community, you're gonna have to miss me with that bullshit.
I wanted to point
Yeah.
out about Rosa Parks. It was a white man that came to her rescue, though. So,
Absolutely.
oh,
Tell him what he did. Go ahead.
okay. So the CEO of Little Caesars, after this incident happened, he moved her out of that area. not only did he move her out, but he fronted her bills until she died. Where were all, again, this is my reason for hashtag all and why there's no so-called good black men. Where were all the good black men back then making bank to take care of her? Where was Denzel Washington? Where was Spike Lee? Where was Grant Hill? Where was Michael Jordan? Where was the NAACP? Where was Bill Cosby? Name them. Where were they? They didn't do a damn thing. They were content to let her rot. It took a white man out of his own pocket to help her, and he took care of her for the rest of her life. But we should hate the white man.
They
To
did
be
the same
honest,
for Harriet. Harriet Tubman
I was about to
bought
say
her
that
house.
that is the story of a lot of them. They died with nothing, or they had to be looked after by people from other communities because this community didn't do a damn thing for them.
They got a lot in
So,
common with these women of today, right? These women of today are fighting the good fight. And when the shit hits the fan, when your kids get hungry and all that shit, you're in those same white men's faces talking about I don't know where he is. I heard y'all was doing income based rent here. Where do I sign up for housing? Right? It's no different. It's no different. And honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you. After looking at all of that and all the facts are straightened and they in front of everybody, I wouldn't help you. You better be thankful for the white man, because if I was in charge, we all getting ready to learn some lessons around this motherfucker, because you don't let people treat you like that. You don't let motherfuckers treat you like that and then you help them. Matter of fact, most of y'all beat your fucking chest like, I ain't with that. I ain't with the shits. Ain't nobody gonna do me, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, you did them and they still helped you. The least you can do is shut the fuck up when this criminal is out here acting a fucking fool. Can you do that? Or no, that's too hard. That's too hard. Okay.
Okay, BZ, can I go to one more place?
Yes.
Stop having them tumble out of your cooch. Okay? It's like, ooh, number one. Ooh, number two, where's daddy? I don't know. Ooh, number three. Stop. Stop. This is wrong. You're screwing yourself up. You're screwing the kid. This is slow moving genocide. That's all it is.
Yep.
And people get real comfortable and they buy into some of that rhetoric that mammies and hoteps and all that be spewing about how, black men are prejudged, people looking at them sideways before they do anything. Let me show y'all what it looked like. Not prejudging black men. Let's go.
Como pra fora. Oh, don't move. Don't scare. Don't.
You see, when you don't prejudge and they just some kids out there, they ain't gonna do nothing. They harmless. I know they mama. I know they grandma. They grandma go to my church, blah, 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 blah. If you don't start prejudging these people, because they're getting hungry, like I told y'all this past couple of months, they're getting hungry as fuck. So they'll stand there and pretend like they're not getting ready to do nothing. Oh, they way down the street. They ain't gonna do none of that shit. And then you go home, lollygagging, not wait until they get the fuck from around you or getting an escort to come into your house, or at least just wait around the corner. They ain't gonna do nothing. And you're pulling up like.
Como pra fora. Oh, don't move. Don't scare. Don't.
Yes, somebody says stereotyping saves lives, and thank you, KD. Appreciate that. I don't know, ladies, if you don't feel a way or you feel like you need to be fair and balanced, it can cost you your entire life. I prejudge black men. I do. Is it right or wrong? I don't fucking know, but I do know what the stats are. And the stats say you probably should prejudge them when you're going into your vehicle, your car, your purse, wherever the fuck you going. I wouldn't walk up on none of them trying to go into a store. I will wait in my car until they cleared the area and then go. These was the excuses we was battling a couple of months ago. Well, what if she just run out of gas? Don't run out of gas. Make sure your shit is full or at least halfway full while you riding around. Period. You should not be in any type of emergency situation around these dusty fucks because they are very opportunistic and very violent. It is what it is. Um,
I mean, they ran up in her shit so fast she didn't even see that coming. She was she opened the door and before you know it, he just ran up behind her, ran up in her shit. That happened so fast. I don't even think she had time to get herself together to even realize. This is why you always have to be vigilant of your surroundings. I know it's kind of hard because she had her back turned
mm-hmm.
at the same time. And I mean, it's just this is ridiculous. You literally can't do shit. And they just both of them just ran straight up in her shit. And what did they do? Snatch her purse and run back out? Like, what did they take?
I
Because that
don't know
was
what
kind
they
of
took.
quick.
I know she was petrified as fuck. They had to grab what she already had in her hands because that was very quick. But she
I
was
mean,
just she wasn't looking around at all. And you should be able to go into your house without having to worry
yeah,
about it.
they don't give a fuck. They just ran up, no mask, no nothing. They ain't even trying to conceal their identities anymore. They don't give a shit.
Let me
Yep,
see.
and let's be honest, they probably lived in them apartments too, and they probably knew where she lived. She probably was a mammy, and I'm pretty sure she was smashing on one of them teen boys. And one of them little
Listen,
teen boys probably was like, I know where to get some money. Because we know
ain't
these
no
mammies
telling.
love opening their legs for any Asian acre.
Child, please. Let me see what's going on here with the backstage. Um, Chichima, are you Dusty?
No, I've been here before. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
yeah, I can hear you. How are you? I still gotta ask if you Dusty. You know how people be backsliding, baby. When
Yeah.
you went to the goddamn church, you wasn't a sinner. But Monday, when you went to the job, you gave a naked some pussy. So,
True.
are you Dusty?
Absolutely not.
Boom, that part. What you
Okay.
got on this?
Actually, I have a little theory as to why the mummies are so loyal to these dusties and why they continuously birth them and refuse to leave them alone.
We love to
Um,
hear it.
okay, the truth is, well, this is what I think. They're not loyal to these dusties at all. It looks like they are on the surface, but it's actually self-serving. When they defend black males, they're actually defending themselves because it's actually about other races of women. Can I continue?
Yeah, I see where you going with it. I honestly don't think they liked black women, even when only black women were around. I don't think there's a time in history that they actually cared for
Mm,
black women. I really don't.
yeah. Okay, so a smart young lady on another channel, she said that when it comes to birthing sons, black women have demon portal pussy. And that's when I realised to admit that other races of men are better than black men is to the mammies the same as admitting that other races of women have better vajayjays and wombs. Basically, the mammy's thinking is if something's wrong with black males, then by extension, that means something's wrong with me too. Because who births these males? It's all ego and narcissism. So to cover up for themselves, they pretend the males are perfect. The mammies have huge egos that are bruised easily. So it's too painful for them to admit that what comes from their wombs are defective. So to stick it to other groups of women, they'll pretend like they're men. The things they produce from their wombs are the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I had put it like this. I see where you're going with it. I don't think other groups of women, I mean, I'm sorry, black women are ready to admit that other groups of men are better than their men. So I agree with that
Mm.
100%. The problem is they not doing nature, nurture, and everything that goes into it. Let me keep going. Once that motherfucker comes out of your ass, you got some choices to make. Now, he shouldn't have been coming out your ass to begin with because the community in which you birthed him is already fucked up. But let's say you went on ahead and birthed him.
Yeah.
When you start coddling and protecting him like a pink pony princess, there is a problem. Ma'am, he fell off the swing. Smile at
Mm.
him, let him stand up, and you'll be able to let him know it's okay to fall off a swing. Not
Mm.
you. You stand up, titties flapping all over the place. Oh, my baby done fell off the swing. You are turning them into trash, hot trash. I mean, just
Yeah.
you falling all over the place. And he 2 years old looking at you like, what's wrong with this bitch? And look, I don't know, but you got to do the nature nurture thing. If you fucked
Mm-hmm.
around and had one of these motherfuckers, you got some choices to make, boo.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, DZ.
Oh, thank you for coming up.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.
Well, DZ, you know my theory about, the missing link thing because I just don't think it makes any other sense because they're the same no matter where they are, no matter how high or low they're born, they're still the same dusty, degenerate motherfucker. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the missing link. There is something on that African Y chromosome that causes their degeneracy. So, like you've shown us, like it doesn't matter how well born they are. They could come from the hood. They can come from a house where parents were both doctors. They still do the same dusty shit.
Yeah, they do. That's who they are. I get it. It's
I
almost
don't know.
it's go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no, no, you go. I'm beginning to think it's the X and the Y.
In a lot of
Because
cases it is because look at how they literally, Ebony, defend horrible behavior even when it's hurting other black women and girls.
exactly, exactly, and that's the thing. And how, if it's just the Y, how in the world can you get two African X's and they act like mammies? They are so male identified they
And
can't even fucking see straight.
and these bitches are so treasonous now that they're doing it for monetary gain. So I mean, even if it's not about them having sons or so-called unicorns or black husbands or whatever, they're doing it for monetary gain, and they've actually built whole careers off of tearing black women down. And it's like, yeah, so shitting on us is lucrative. It always have been. We already know the Nakers made it a business, and now the women have followed suit and they're doing the same thing. So there you go. I'm thinking I agree with you, Ebony. It's something wrong with the X and the Y. So yeah.
Dark skinned gentlewoman, I'll check it as soon as I get up off of here. Let me see if this is the real lipstick. Um, lipstick, is this you or is it that dusty?
It's me in the fucking flesh. Look,
Boom! That part. Go ahead.
look. I don't know what porch monkey. I'm sorry. What person came under my name, but I did not send it.
I feel you. They do that a lot on YouTube, honestly. You'll see somebody in a chat room and you thinking it's the content creator when the content creator ain't nowhere near it. And then stupid bitches don't say, check and see. They'll just start arguing with the person, right? And don't even know if that's them because they was ready to argue with your ass to begin with. But I digress.
I just wanted to say that I agree with there is a defect in that X chromosome from the motherland because you can take these motherfuckers from the NICU, put them with the whitest family to ever white, put
Mm-hmm.
them in the most suburban area, gated community out in the middle of nowhere, and they still will exhibit the same degeneracy and criminality that they would have exhibited it if you had raised them in the hood. There
You
is
don't
nowhere you can put them.
you don't get no argument from me. The stats are telling that that's probably the case. I'm just gonna keep it real with you because let me see, what is that actor's name or comedian's name? Tommy Davidson. His family abandoned him, and he was raised by two white folks, and
Mhm.
he still got blackistani tendencies. It is what it is. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that. You get no fight from me.
I think, well, the thing is about the X and the Y chromosome. The Y chromosome, that's evolution, that's actual genetics. The X chromosome, that's more in the adaptation where it's a environmental or a mental issue. Because, I'm not going to say any names, but some folks over here have been mammies or had mammy tendencies before they woke up. So their genes didn't change, it was their mindset that changed. But the dustiness on that African Y chromosome, that's ingrained in their DNA. That's who they're born as, whether as soon as they come out their mama's pussy, and that's who they are until the day they leave this earth.
There may be something to that, and it will also explain why they're all bitches too. Because when you think about it, um, no, I'm serious. All the default sex is female for all fetuses. So if they start out that way while they're still in utero, and then the male characteristics come in later on, yeah, that says a lot about why they are bitches. And I think Tiffany Haddish kind of alluded to that. But yeah, they that explains a lot.
And how can you, when you think about it, the ones who are like born in these highborn circumstances, it just makes no sense to me. I don't, and they
Yeah,
still act like that. They still
it's
act like they are from a common hood rat. You're absolutely right.
It's the missing link theory. Like, look, we all know about ligers, right? So a tiger and a lion coming together and mating and having an offspring. Well, we know that lions and tigers are actually two different species, but they're still genetically close enough to mate. And I think that's what's going on with black males. Like, they're not quite Homo sapien humans like the rest of us, but they're close enough where those who choose to lay down with them can still shoot out a kid.
The black kiwi is malus.
Yes, the black
Is
Hevius malus.
Y'all so wrong.
But but Ebony, as a scientist, are you telling me my theory actually makes a lot of sense?
I know. What?
Wait, what was the scientific name again? Can someone say it again?
The black Hevius malus.
Okay. I'm going to top that with the Tyronius nigris.
Miss M, Miss M, are you dusty? Miss M, you dusty?
No, ma'am.
Wonderful. It's on you. What you got on the subject?
Oh, you know what? I just joined. This is my first time calling in. I've been listening to you ladies, and I hear where you're coming from and everything like that. So I'm new to the divestment scene and things like that. And I just want to know more about the XY chromosome thing, like from more so like a scientific standpoint, like what's really going on, like with
We
that.
covered it. We covered it a couple of times up here, home girl. We covered it. Go back and look at some of them videos. Just off the
Okay.
surface, though, to keep it real with you, look at your nearest nigga. Look at it. That explains everything. He ain't acting like nobody else out here except maybe the mammy.
So, DZ, let me ask her a question. Do you have a son?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I do. And I want you guys' input because I have 3 sons, actually. And I'm listening to you. I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm wondering if any of you ladies have sons.
no, ma'am.
As well.
DZ, you should have let us have fun. Come on, DZ.
She's still up here. I just needed to get my chakras and my kundalini on. I have one. He's biracial though.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I have a question for you. Are
scientific, ladies? I'm sorry.
I have a question for you. Have you seen any of these characteristics that we have described in any of your 3 sons?
I have seen some characteristics. Yes, I have.
Okay.
My oldest son is 19. Okay. I've seen some of the characteristics I've seen is like some of the self-serving.
Miss M, hold that real quick because I need to say something to somebody in the chat.
Okay.
Check it out. You can have sons and then divest. Period. But if you haven't, hold on a second. If you've already divested and then you start shitting out black sons, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you, you're not divested. Okay. Divested people come from every walk of fucking life as a black woman. We all have different backgrounds, but they're similar when it comes to niggas. So if you feel like you need to protect your sons, what is it? Look, this goddamn screen is cutting up. If you feel like you need to protect your son from divestors, you're not going to have a good time around divestors. We have divestors that have black sons, but they don't be around this motherfucker trying to take up for their sons and try to convince everybody else that he different. Because the fact of the matter is, he's a black man. Mm-hmm. Okay, I hope I was very clear. Okay, go ahead, Miss M. I just had to address that comment.
Oh yeah, thank you. And no, I feel it's up to him to prove that he's. I don't feel it's up to me to try to prove anything, about him. You understand what I'm saying? I don't coddle them. I'm hard on them because I do see it, but I think I'm starting to see something like you said, like as a collective, Like, I'm not just going through this. You understand
What are you
what I'm
going
saying?
through? Because I'm getting confused. What you going through?
Well, what I'm saying is just being around, just being around them, and the
How old are
dustiness.
your sons?
My sons, I have a 19-year-old.
Okay, he grown. Keep going.
Yeah, he's grown. I have a son. He's going to be turning 10 years old tomorrow. And then I have a 5-year-old. He's going to be 5 this month.
Well, you got quite a bit of a journey in front of you if you want to divest. My advice to you, if you start seeing really, really specific dusty characteristics, give them to their daddy. Are you still with their father or fathers?
No, I have, they have one father. And
okay. In the event that you start seeing dust coming from your son's head, give them to him. Period. Because Black women will go through all this bullshit just to say that they was there. That other motherfucker, he's also the parent, just as much as a parent as you are. If they become disrespectful, thugged out, and all this extra shit, give them to their daddy.
Right.
Do like they do.
I
do
agree.
just like they do. They leave y'all with kids all the goddamn time. If they start acting dusty, give them to their father. Now I got to put this part out here. Your sons will always be dusty to me, no matter what they're doing, because I don't deal with Black men. I don't like Black men. I'm not with the shits. I'm talking about in your household. See what I'm saying? I'm already seeing your sons as dusty. But if they start acting away, go ahead and give them to their daddy.
Right.
Period.
No, I understand. Well, my oldest is he's doing okay. I have to say that I'm blessed. He grew up in the in a big city and he didn't become a gangbang.
Let me ask you this, Miss M. Do you have anything on the topic, because you're introducing us to your sons? And honestly,
I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to. No.
Well,
No.
DZ, I wanted to talk to her about the son thing. I think I can.
Yeah.
I can. I have a half Asian son.
Okay.
No problems with the kid, no problems with the kid until he got a certain age and he got in high school and decided to look at what the little Black boys were doing.
Right.
And then when he came home and told me what the little Black boys were doing, and they said that, yeah, your mama, she's a bitch, she's a hard ass, and all this, I said, okay, you know what? You staying with this bitch or you can leave.
Right.
Them's your choices. Okay? I ain't doing shit for you. I ain't picking up shit for you until you decide how you gonna be. And if you're gonna act a fool on me, I can really, really put it on you. Because you know what, bitch? I'm the only one you got right now.
Exactly. Right.
And Dad, I'm serious. He had to. I'm serious. This boy wanted to be coddled like the other boys that he saw. He was like, "Why are you acting like this? I can't believe you." Yeah. Oh. Believe me now. You gonna walk your ass all the way home. I remember when he was missing the bus constantly because the other boys, their moms took them to school. I said, "Bitch, you right down. You're a mile from the school."
Right.
So I said, you know what? He missed the bus one day too many. Get your ass up. It was raining. Right. He had a heavy backpack. I was following behind him in the car. Keep going. Keep going. I was honking my horn at the child. The cop saw me across the street.
In other words, don't take shit off of their asses. As soon as they start acting a fool, get their ass up out of here. Period.
Right,
fuck the backpack, fuck all that shit, get their ass up out of there. Because when it says all, I mean all. And Divested Beauty, I don't know what your username is. I don't know why you would be blocked, but let me know what your username is in the chat. You might have to type it a couple times because it might get past me in StreamYards. Okay.
I want to say something. DZ, I know you told the young lady if her son started to be dusty to send them away to their fathers. I'm going to say to send them to their fathers now.
Oops. That's
just my suggestion. It's their 5. The 5-year-old is not on the titty anymore. He's school age. The other ones are grown. I mean, the 10-year-old. I feel like you should just drop them off tonight.
No, you know what?
Y'all sound like some bitter baby mamas.
Well,
No, they don't. I
mm,
understand exactly where they're coming from. And the young lady that was just talking about her son, I definitely went through things like that, with my oldest, where you had to kind of like
listen,
force
listen,
them
listen,
to.
Miss M.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
already know. I already
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
I already know. Your sons are like Sheila's sons, are like Bertha's sons. They are black males. I already know. You ain't got to
Mhm.
take us through that whole goddamn roundabout. I
Mhm.
promise you. Okay?
Okay, gotcha.
Uh, DZ,
Yeah.
may I chime in?
Absolutely.
I wanted to add for Miss M. I
Mhm.
DZ, I'm not sure how long you've been watching DZ, but DZ has covered extensive stories where
Mhm.
these black males' sons still grape out no matter how well they've been raised. Like
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
so you have to understand that it doesn't, because everyone likes to say it's how you're raising them. No, it's not, because
Mhm.
black males, no matter their socioeconomic background, they still grape out. And all these all these other black mothers, current and past, they have tried to raise a new black son,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's never happened. Like all these other black mothers, they've tried private school, they've tried being tough, they tried being soft, they tried keeping him away from basketball, they didn't let him
Mhm.
listen to rap, etc., etc. They still choose to be dusty, and it is what it is. I'm not saying not to try with your son, but just understand that is ultimately is going to be his choice whether he's dusty or not. And I would say 99% of them choose dust.
Yeah, I'm going with
Mhm.
100. I'm not. I'm
Mhm.
staying on that shit because it does. They might not be dusty to her, but I'm sure there's gonna be a couple of women out here that'll call her sons dusty to face, depending on what they doing. And Kania, she was just joking when she
Mhm.
said we was bitter baby mamas, dear.
Yeah,
She
I
was
was
just
saying that.
joking,
Yeah.
boo.
Yeah, I was saying
God
that.
damn.
No,
Y'all be
yeah.
trying to. They be trying to
I
start smoke night.
was like, dang. No, I said that because we all know when these nakers grow up, they're gonna blame you. They're not gonna blame the father that
Exactly.
that didn't help out. They
Yeah.
blame the mother that stayed, that loved them.
Mhm.
And I
Yep.
think it's just unfortunate when you already have these nakers, because you're just
Mhm.
gonna have to give them love anyway, even though you know they're gonna break your heart later down the road.
Check out.
Some Oh, so sorry.
Go ahead, boo, and then I'll get to this video because I want to show y'all something. Go ahead.
Some of the ladies in the chat have been saying, well, what if the father is not an option? Well, guess what? Boarding school is.
I
Mhm.
They're
mean,
always
foster
looking.
homes exist.
They're always looking for an excuse every goddamn time. If you don't want, I know black women, when they don't want something in their life, they get it the fuck out. It don't be
Mhm.
a whole bunch of excuses. But when it's time to talk about something that is anatomically male, all of a sudden here come all the barriers and I can't climb over that one and
Yeah.
I don't know and that shit is corny as fuck. There's a way to get them up out of there. Go tell CPS you're unfit.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Kick them out like y'all do your daughters when they get titties and ass.
Oops. Oops.
Boom.
No, I decided I'm moving completely out. I have one daughter, and my daughter is going to be coming with me, but I
Okay.
just
Check.
can't, guys.
Just look up here. Let me show you how these niggas feel about y'all sons that y'all keep having for these motherfuckers. You won't stop.
Mhm.
They gonna be your problem. Ladies, keep your gun permits. That's all I can tell you. Because the fact of the matter is, these bitches are still gonna keep having them. But look at
Yeah.
this shit here.
Shelby County man is in jail after police say he tried to run over a baby. 27-year-old Fernando's work.
First of all, you laid down up under that. I know you sick. Ladies, he took the baby, put the baby behind a tire of a car, got in the car and start revving as if he was going to run over that baby. I want to know why y'all keep giving these niggas kids. I want to know why y'all keep giving these niggas kids. Let's finish this up. It's only 45 seconds.
Is charged with resisting arrest and threatening bodily harm. Police say the child's mother, who is married to Wirt, came home Friday night after spending all day with her child at the Bonner Children's Hospital. She told police when she got home, she got into an argument with Wirt and locked him out of the house. Well, Wirt was able to get back into the home where police say he hit and beat the woman, took the child outside and placed them behind his car. Police say Wirt started to back up his car, but the mother was able to grab the child and run back inside. When officers went to arrest Wirt, they say he tried to run and eventually bit one of the officers on the wrist. Wirt will be back in court next month.
Yeah, so that's who y'all, he around here biting like he's a savage animal. But when I call them savage animals, there seems to be an issue, right? He was literally going to run over that baby. The one that you probably thought was going to keep him loving on you. The news report said that he beat your ass too. So whenever you out here and you done had a drink and you see a Dusty that's saying everything you want to hear, how in the fuck do you think that you are any better than all of these women that have come before you and somehow that nigga gonna be right? Y'all even giving niggas a chance that already got several baby mamas, huh? I'm not saying don't have a self-esteem. Love thyself, goddammit. But you also have to keep it real. And keeping it real with these Dusties means you don't give them children. They don't like black women and they hate their children. Anybody that can put a baby behind a tire, ma'am, I don't know what he said to her to get her, panties off. But from what I'm hearing, it don't take much. And that's a goddamn shame. It's a shame. Let me see who this is back here. StreamYards is basic as fuck, but it be giving me issues, y'all. I'm sorry.
No more mammoths, DZ. Don't pull no more mammoths from behind that curve.
Miss Gemini, you got anything to add to the story or the topic that we're talking about?
I actually do. I was sitting here for a while and I was just trying to put it into words. But as far as like I think her name was Miss M or whatever, we were talking about the sun topic. My pretty much thoughts about that is like, no matter what environment that black boy grew up in, he's gonna seek mentorship from other black men, no matter how degenerate they are. It's just an ongoing cycle. So I really don't understand the point of single mothers talking about, I did everything for him, or 2-parent households, like I gave him everything. I was a perfect role model. I was making sure that he was going to school, getting good grades and everything. That doesn't matter. He's gonna seek mentorship elsewhere, usually other degenerate black men, and it's going to basically attract him, and that's how they end up as degenerates like this person that we see on the screen right now when they get older. So it really doesn't matter the environment. They're going to basically seek their own level, which is pretty much other degenerate black men. They're going to basically see them as mentors and carry on the traits that they have as well.
We've been up here a couple of times and I've showed y'all educated Dusties that have a couple of dollars. So there is a Dusty spectrum that exists that your son is going to fall in on. It just is what it is. Look at the community around you. Look at your history. Look at the history of the black community. They have been begging for centuries. So I don't know what it is about the I'm different, he's different mentality. But some women will deny that shit all the way up until their fucking sentencing court date. Oh, well, that's the first time he ever did something type bitches. That's why I say they dangerous. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them, period.
Okay, I'm starting to understand why you saying that now. And I appreciate everything y'all saying. I'm learning a lot here. And like you said, it's the collective. And I understand what you just said, the mentorship, and he'll seek that around him. So I'm just sitting back waiting, I watching, and I don't do things like that. I stay away from these gas stations and things like that. I have an electric car. I don't even get gas. Like I don't play around after 3 o'clock. I just don't.
Divestment is a literal journey. It's not a destination. Since there'll always be black folks around, you'll always be on your journey when you're moving around, when you change states, when you buy a new house, when you go to the bank. There's always going to be them around because the mammies are not going to stop having them. So you thinking you done reached your divestment destination and you got your nose up in the air, the Dusty can see you and still fuck you up. That's why it's a journey. You always got to keep your eyes peeled for bullshit.
Yes. It's so true. And I work in an environment where I train and I have to train them. And it's,
Lord,
Oh my God. We need some
Lord.
holy oil.
just
Holy
need to do
oil.
it. Yeah, right. Your crucifix, all of that.
Girl,
Damn.
you birthing them, you gotta train them. Ooh, child.
So it's like, I'm really like, okay, it's like, how do I really officially do this? And I know I want to do this. I have to do this. And it's like, how do I officially do it when I have sons? I have.
There's an alternative. There's an alternative. You need to
Mhm.
figure out what the best alternative is. I couldn't imagine being in your shoes. I probably jump off the Peach Building if I had 3 black sons. I'm dead ass serious. I don't even know. You got to figure out what's going to be best for your specific situation. I'm in no envy of you. Trust me. God damn.
Why somebody in the chat say leave the other two with the 19-year-old and run?
Well, I have one. The youngest one is the youngest two. They have autism.
You need to do a one-on-one with me because it sounds like you need to be able to get this off your chest because
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to take up y'all time. I don't want to hold y'all up. I'm sorry about that.
literally need to set aside an hour and then me and you can talk because it's really, really on you. It really is, and you're trying to get it off. And I understand you about that. You in a tough situation. I just have to give it up to you. You are in a tough situation. You looking for divestment, and you got 3 black sons, and your ass is a single. That's a tough one, but it can be done. Don't get that part fucked up. It can be done. Anybody else want to tell Miss M something? Y'all good?
Absolutely not. I'm good. It's a lot. She's going through a lot, and I can hear it in her voice, right? It's and I'm sure there's a lot more she's not telling us, which I understand, but I can hear in her voice that there's something going on.
Yep. We all can hear it.
Yeah. And I'm kind of nervous.
Can I say something?
Yes.
It's my
Can I
first
say
time.
something?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Back to what I was saying, but I'm gonna add another thing, Miss M, because you said you were trying to train them. Like I said, you can do all the training in the world. They're eventually, as they get older, they're gonna seek mentorship elsewhere. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I meant professionally. I'm an actual training person.
Let her inbox me all of this so that she can get her one-on-one.
How to do their jobs. That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Let's see what we got back here. Dominique, what's happening, dear?
Hello, everybody. I just want to say that all of them, from the window to the wall and from the cradle to the grave.
Thank you, Dominique. I appreciate you coming up here. That was fucking amazing. Let me go ahead and put this banner up so I can see what's going on with this next person. Okay. All right. Let's see. Nafisa, are you Dusty?
No, ma'am, I am not. Hello, DV. Excuse me.
How are you? You sound like you need a throat hostage. What's up?
Pardon me. Give me just 1 second. Excuse me. I wanted to call in. First of all, good evening, ladies. It's very nice to talk to you. This is my first time calling up, although I listen quite often. I wanted to add something to the whole genetic thing. I do believe that there is absolutely an issue with that Y chromosome. And the reason I think so is because I have a son. Now, my son is not by a Black man. I'm African American. My son is not by a Black man. He's by a Puerto Rican who is of indigenous and European descent. His father was in, straight up Puerto Rican. But
what's the deal? What's the deal?
He presents as African American. If you look at him, looking at him, he looks like me. But his behavior, you know what I mean? His behavior is not, typical. You know what I mean? And I'm not one of those, not all people, but, I never had any children by any.
Can you hear my microphone? Can you hear me?
Now I can, yes.
Okay, just making sure. Now check this out. This is another way, ladies, this is another way of sneaking some of that stuff off in the club. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? if your son is going places and he presents as an African American, his environment is going to treat him like he's African American. That's why I tell these ladies, make sure that you put a fine line between you and these mammy ass bitches, because our situation is completely different. I don't want you to try to sneak in that my black presenting son is better than the rest of these goddamn niggas. Please tell me you're not finna do that.
Well, I was talking about the whole genetic aspect earlier in the broadcast. You were talking about the Y chromosome of the black man, you know, no matter where he was. And my whole point with saying what I was saying was, you know, he gets his African genetics from me, not from his father. And you know what I mean? There is a clear difference in behavior, but I am not a part of the whole not all thing. You know what I mean? I absolutely believe that it's absolutely all. You know what I mean? You know, in my experience, it's been all. So that was the whole reason I was making that point. You know what I mean? My son does not have a black father. He's not at all black. He can't pass for black. You know what I mean? You couldn't possibly mistake it. And, you know, the way that he's been raised, you know, he's been gainfully employed since he reached adulthood.
Let me stop you right there.
So what we're not,
You
I don't want to.
You said that he presented as a black man, and
because he looks like me. You know what I mean? That's my whole point. I'm his mom. You know?
Wait a minute. You can't be true at the same time. 1 second you said that he presents as black and he looks like you. The next time you said you won't mistake him as black. I feel like
no, his father. This is what I'm saying. His father can't pass for black, not him.
That's interesting.
Misunderstood me.
That's very interesting. This story is giving.
Right, and Puerto Rico is not a race, so I'm still confused.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said his genetics, his background, his father's background is indigenous and European.
We're all indigenous, lady. It sounds like you got a black son. I'm not. I'm trying to understand where we're going here.
I was speaking to the point of what you were talking about earlier with the Y chromosome, of the African Y chromosome. I have what I consider a mixed son because he does not have a black father. And the reason I said, you know, I know Puerto Rican is not a race of people. That's why I mentioned his father's background. His father is the one that cannot pass for black. You know, you could never mistake him as a black man. He does not have the African American Y chromosome. You know, and so it was, you know, we were talking about behaviors and
what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say your son is an exception? Is that what you're trying to say? Even though
I'm saying my son is mixed. He's not, you know, he's not black. I mean, DZ has a son who is mixed as well. You know what I mean?
My son's father is a goddamn white man from the top to the goddamn bottom.
I'm not talking about indigenous. I mean Indian. You know, like American Indian. You know, Indian. Like his abuela is a, you know, a woman with, you know, she looks like a straight up Indian woman, but she spoke Spanish.
All our grandmamas look like Indian women. Look, what are we going with this?
I think y'all are misunderstanding me because I do not have this whole complex of not all or anything like that. My whole point was to speak to the point that y'all were making earlier about that Y chromosome. And I was saying that no matter how someone presents in the world, it seems to me that without that, you know, without that Y chromosome, you know, there is a difference in behavior. And, you know, he's also never been around, you know, I did not raise him in that environment. Yeah, I've been fortunate enough. So I really think that does play a difference. Because you want me to say like he's not an exception.
I don't want you to say anything. I'm actually just listening to what you're saying, and all I'm getting from this is my son presents black, but he's biracial, so he's an exception. That's what I'm getting.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting.
What do you consider someone who, you know, a black mother, you know, like myself, who had a child with someone who is not black? You know, what is your opinion on those sons that come from a union like that? You know what I mean? Because
he's still black.
Yeah, it's not my opinion, okay? People that come from two different races are biracial. Your son, if you want to keep it real, has a lot more black in him, the way you describing his father, than he does the other side, if you get what I'm saying. So I think you try to slide your son up under the fence, and it's just interesting, that's all.
On his father's side, he does not have any African blood. That's what
What is your point? You are let me
Exactly.
hush. You're trying. So, what are you trying to say? That regardless to what
I'm saying
color
that
the
I think
father
that
is.
that Y chromosome
Look. I
has
was
a
asking you a question because you. It sounds like to me you're trying to say that they're all fucked up regardless to who the father is. Is that what you're getting at?
no, ma'am. That's not what I'm getting up. What I'm saying is
Okay,
that I
so
think
what
that
is your point of saying that he presents as a black man, but his father is not black and he's biracial? So what is your point?
my point is the Y chromosome has an effect on
Regardless
the
to who the
whole.
father is that your point? That's what I just said.
No, I think
Is
that the
that the
father
point?
does make a difference. You know, having a non-black father, I think
Okay,
makes a
so but
difference.
my thing is, so are you trying to say your son is different because his father is not black? So your son is the unicorn. It's so which that goes
No,
back
not
to
a unicorn, because I don't consider my son, I consider my son mixed. I consider him
why
biracial.
did
How
you
does he
why
identify?
did you even bring your son into this
Exactly.
if you feel like he's not
Because of the behavior, you know what I mean? And
okay
y'all were saying,
so that is what you're saying.
Exactly.
And
but I
shouldn't
don't
we talk
consider him
more?
as an
I don't
African
have
American.
time for this.
Shouldn't
Man,
we
what
speak
does
more
your
on
son
his
ID?
behavior than his background? Because you're trying to equate to the behavior, but you're steady bringing up what he looks like in the background. So we're just trying to
No,
get
I
the
brought up what he looked like one time. I said that he presents
several times.
because he looks like me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If you were to look at him, you know what I mean? He's got nice hair and all that. But I mean, if you were to look at him, you would think he's a brown skinned,
I
black
just
man.
don't
But
understand why you
his
are trying to
behavior
be
is
a
not
part of the so why do you
degenerate.
feel like
And his
you are
father
a
is
part
not.
of this
Wait a minute.
conversation?
Wait,
So why
okay.
do you feel like you're supposed to be a part of this conversation? I'm confused.
Exactly.
It seems
Apparently, I'm
like she
not
just wants to
presenting.
be a part of the conversation, really.
Apparently, I'm not presenting my argument clearly. You know what I mean? Because y'all are
You don't
really
have an
misunderstanding
argument. So
where I'm
what does
coming
your
from.
son
Well,
identify
not even
as?
argument, my point.
What does your
Y'all are
son
misunderstanding my
identify
point.
as? What does your son
Son,
identify himself
he
as?
identifies as mixed. You know what I mean? He identifies himself as mixed.
So again, we're back to them all being equally as fucked up, regardless to who the father is. That's your point.
No, I
It's
think that
something.
having a non-black father absolutely makes a difference in how they turn
It
out.
didn't make
That's
a
my
difference
point.
for your son, did it? Obviously, you're saying he's still a problem, correct? So that
No,
didn't
he's
make a
not a
difference for him.
problem.
No,
So you're
Aaliyah,
saying
she's saying her son is the exception. That's what's going on
I'm
here.
saying that he's not a problem. He does not have an African American father. He doesn't have a father of African
that's why I
descent,
say I'm confused.
and
So
he does not have
your son is the exception.
Mm-hmm.
no. He does not have a father of African descent. No African descent on his father's side. His African descent comes from my side, from me.
Okay.
And his behavior, even though you know what I mean, he looks like me. He doesn't act like he has the African. He doesn't act like a degenerate
But
father.
weren't
He
you
has an
just saying
African
you had
father.
issues with him
And I was
too?
saying, no, ma'am. Apparently, I'm not being clear. His father is not black at all. I am black. My son identifies as mixed. He has been his behavior. He hasn't been an issue for me. You know what I mean?
Okay. Here's the deal.
He
Here's the deal. Let me just go ahead and
and
put
I
this
think
out
that the
here.
Y
Let me put this
chromosome.
out here. Let me put it out here, okay? Jussie Smollett is biracial, okay? I'm just gonna leave that right there. So he can still be a dust mite. That is
But
it. But you're presenting him like he's the exception. And I understand that you love your son. You have never heard me get up here and tell you that my biracial son was an exception to the rule because I'm black and his goddamn daddy is white. This is what you're selling us, though. All you know is that I have a biracial son, and that's just the end of it. You said your son presents as black, so we're getting worse as we go along. And you're saying you're not having any issues with him, but he presents as black, and he looks like me, and his father's Puerto Rican, and he's not a problem. And
Well, I'm
this is
not
what you keep
getting
saying.
why she keeps saying it's something wrong with the Y chromosome, period, if there's no issue with him. That's where I'm confused at, because you called up
Well,
here to talk about the genetic aspect of it, and you're saying it's something wrong with the Y chromosome, but at the same time, your son, that is skipped him. Is that what you're saying?
no, I'm saying my son does not have the African Y chromosome. He has
Okay.
my X chromosome. He does not have
Wow.
the Y chromosome from a black man. And
Okay.
so y'all were talking earlier about there's something wrong with that Y chromosome. And so that's what I was speaking to. He does not have that African Y chromosome. He has
Okay.
his African
We get you.
dependency comes from me. And I think that there is definitely something to that, because everyone that I know, as far as cousins or anything, anyone who has a black father shows the same exact tendencies. Now, I've seen biracials that have the same, or mixed, whatever you want to call them, as mixed, have the same, issues as
Dusties,
you see
yeah,
in the,
because
yes,
their
Dusty,
their
the
their
same issues.
lineage, their lineage. If you go past the mama and everybody else, there's a nigga up there, ma'am. There's a nigga up there. So you're still presenting him as an exception.
But I don't think it's
Seriously.
an
I failed
exception.
to
I'm just
see.
speaking to
I
the
failed to
fact that
see what the Y
him not.
chromosome or any of that has anything to do with it. Because at the end of the day, you've already admitted that he looks just like a black man. It doesn't matter who his father is or none of that. You're saying he looks like a black man. And if he's identifying as a black man, then what I'm trying to see, what do you feel like is there to discuss about it?
My
Yeah,
son
let's I'm
identifies
sorry.
himself as mixed.
Okay, thank you for
I'm the
coming.
one that
Thank
said,
you, thank you
Thank
for coming up.
you.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you. Thank you for coming up.
all right,
Okay, bye bye.
thank
Oh, Jesus.
Hold on a second. And I'm not even playing right now. Okay, I'm not playing. The
See,
creative ways to get people's goddamn exceptions in here is getting out of hand. It is getting out of hand.
Mm.
it really is. And I should have stayed quiet. I wish I did, because I have very little tolerance for these types of conversations, especially when it comes to these sons.
For these
Mhm.
sons is gonna send people to the edge of the earth and they gonna fall the fuck off. Look, I have children, so I know what it's like when you have a matriarchal instinct and you love your kids. I'm trying to stop delusion. I'm trying to stop delusion. Delusion is costing us lives around this motherfucker. And it's just, I can't give them up because of this. I can't. It's always an excuse. Well, they young. Well, they old. Well, they went to an all black school. Who they was supposed to date? Well, mine is Puerto Rican, indigenous. Da, 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 da.
Right.
Listen, the excuses, you can have them. I'm going to be very, very cordial. You can have them, and you're going to deal with the results of your way of thinking. Anything that you do, any choice that you make is going to have a consequence. I'm just asking, don't put it on us when the consequence comes, especially when you know that there is a consequence coming. Okay? If I saw her son and I thought he was black, I would avoid him.
I would still run. I don't care what tribe his dad is from. I would
Right.
still run from him. And my thing is, sometimes black women, just because you have a child with a non-black man, sometimes those nigger characteristics
Oh,
come from your ass.
girl, you tried it.
Come from your ass.
It's trigger, right? That's what you meant to say. Lipstick trigger.
Oh, I'm
I
Yeah.
know.
sorry.
Yeah, that's what you meant to say. God damn, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I
And
wanted to
you
say
already
that.
know how I feel about them taco men. You already know how I feel about that. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Not the Choctaw man. Come on now.
Not Choctaw. I said the taco.
Taco, right?
Yeah. She
And I
already
wanted to,
know.
I
Go ahead,
wanted to,
Chanel.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, and she did say that her baby daddy, he looked black, but he's not black. So you already know that the mom is a biracial or a white woman, and the dad is a nigga. So even if the dad doesn't have the chromosomes, the grandpappy do. So the Y chromosomes can't skip a generation and get into her son. These women don't think.
Yeah.
Well, everybody loves in the black community. That's all that matters is that boy. That's why
Exactly.
I get so fucking irritated when anybody's complaining about the treatment of these black men. They get courtesy even with all these bodies in front of these people, even with all these robberies, right? Single motherhood, domestic violence, STDs. It doesn't matter as long as this black man is comfortable and somebody is making sure that his image is correct. Listen, ladies, your image is all the way fucked up right now. And it's because of him. And he's still getting grace. You out here fighting police officers after needing to have to call a police officer on that same nigga. None of this shit makes any sense. And it's very, very confusing and frustrating. Like I said, that's your life. If you want to live in a bubble of delusion, that's your prerogative. Keep your GoFundMe's and your begging for sympathy ass out of my face with it, because you already know it's all over here. I don't know why folks keep trying to slip certain things in, especially if he present as black. Especially if he present as black. Right? You can have somebody light as a goddamn albino. If this motherfucker presents as black, and y'all know the difference between black and white albinos, okay? If he presents as black or can be mistaken as black, it's gonna be an issue. How many of these light-skinned niggas we done seen up here fucking up these women? Huh?
I mean, something wrong with all the Y chromosomes besides the one that you gave birth to. Okay, that's why I can't do this. Not with that. Mm-mm.
Can we also infer that if they present as black, then they basically want to be a black man? Because if you want to be a black man, then you want to be a nigga, and if you want to be a nigga, then aren't you from Niggerville?
Listen, go ahead, Kyra.
I just wanted to clarify. Look, I'm going to hurt some feelings here, but particularly Hispanics from the Caribbean. Look, I'm sorry to tell you, they are great. They have that same mixture of Black Americans, of some white, Hispanic, and African mixed together. They just speak a different language. That's all it is.
This is why they was on some. That's why a lot of these women be on that diaspora bullshit. You don't. If the black men in America are bad, you can get one from Africa. You could get one from the Caribbean. You could get. It's like, I don't want one though. And sis, I'm asking you, why do you want one? Why are you trying to contort yourself into a pretzel, trying to figure out that you got somebody black, huh? Because everything you get is from white people. How about that part? Everything you get. We sitting up here on the goddamn internet because of them. Don't get me started on everything that y'all use of white folks. Carmen, welcome to the panel.
Hey, DZ. Hey, panel. Thanks for having me up here.
Hey, you far away?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. I'll speak a little bit louder. So I just wanted to ask you a question, DZ.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
So my neighbor father, his grandma is Indian, and she's an indigenous Indian, and he has curly hair. Is he still a Dusty?
Get the fuck up off this goddamn line. Get your ass from up here. Get your ass from up here. I don't know what the excuse is going to be in 2023. We headed to 2023. These motherfuckers going to be saying, well, his father's from Mars. And over in Mars, they're a little bit green. They're a little bit green, right? And they head a little bit bigger. So is he Dusty?
Well, y'all, it was given Germanic features. And if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But I love y'all, and I'll meet y'all in the Discord.
All right, boo. That's what's up. Let me put the banner up here so I can make sure I got everybody around this motherfucker. Come on, not Discord. Come on, StreamYards. Work with me. Work with me. Goddess Forever. Are you Dusty?
I don't know how to answer that question. I have a child by a Dusty. So
are you Dusty?
No. No. I was just calling to expound a little bit upon
Can you speak up just a little bit?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just want to expound a little bit upon what's going on with these boys. I'm appalled.
Well, go ahead and expound on it. What is your opinion?
Yeah. Their mothers who are there actually raising them, they know something is wrong with them and they're turning a blind eye. Tell me why. I went to college. I did everything I was supposed to do. Dated a black man in college, ended up marrying him and having a baby with him. Then boom, he's diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Well, listen,
You
I
mean
got to
to
keep it
tell
real.
me
Wait a minute, because I'm not gonna do this. When I open my dick liquor, go ahead and let me say what I'm saying to you. How old is your marriage, or was your marriage? What year did you get married?
was that 2018?
Okay, here's the deal, and I'm just gonna keep it real with you. You are part of that group of women that think, not me. It won't happen to me. If there's Dusties out there, they won't be dusty to me. So you gave it a shot anyway.
What's crazy was that my mind wasn't even there, even thinking like that. My
That's
mind was,
interesting. That's very interesting. And I'm gonna tell you
yeah.
why. Because these women have been getting fucked up since before you were born. So I find that
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. My mind wasn't even there to begin with, and I'm not one of those race loyal black women either. I dated all different races in high school and in college.
Well, thank you for
But
introducing yourself. Nice to meet you.
Wow,
I'm
she dated
sorry.
all types and settled for a black man?
No, I didn't say that.
She married a black man. She had a child by a black man. Ultimately, she did
Exactly.
what people do when they ready to fuck up their life and then get it together later. Because nobody should be giving a black man a chance right now. Listen, the white women are finding out the hard way right now. I figure black women already know. Anybody born after 1980, God damn it, you should know something by now. Even those women beforehand, they should have known something just by looking at their neighbors and shit. So
But that's
it's
the
on.
thing.
It's on. It's
Nobody is
okay.
saying anything.
Okay.
And I'm
Okay. See, because I already said once the dick liquor come open, then shut the fuck up. I am so tired of these excuses. I'm tired of seeing the bodies hit the fucking floor, y'all. It's always let me try this shit out because these bitches are bitter. And then they end up going away from the Blackistani area once they get their life fucked up. Now, I got that out. You're back up here, God is forever, because I don't want you and I talking over each other.
I didn't think that we were talking over each other. I guess there's a lag. My apologies.
No,
That's
it's all
not what I
good.
was trying to do.
It's all good.
But I'm speaking from my personal experience. When I tell you my mind was completely somewhere else, that I had no freaking idea, had no idea, and learned the hard way. But
Okay.
I'm right there with you. I think that and I'm angry. I'm angry not just at black men or anything, but at the women in my family. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a
I can get to my point. There is something psychologically wrong with all of these people. And I think you've made a video or two about that already. But the thing is, their mothers are keeping it a secret because you're not just about to have no episode of schizophrenia and have never had it. And that stuff comes and goes after you can have years of not having an episode at all. But you had one. I know you had one when you were a child, and your mama saw it and chose not to say anything to me
You know what? I
throughout
can
all our,
agree. I can agree with what you're saying on that part, but they're not going to. You already know that these black women are in these weird ass intellectual incest relationships with their sons. You know
That's what
that.
I'm finding
So
out.
so
That's what I'm finding out.
she's not going to tell you anything. Nothing. You out here on your own as a black woman and you need to stay away from niggas. That's really the bottom line.
Do you have a
Ladies,
son or a daughter, ma'am?
I have a son, unfortunately, and the thing about it is, I would so love to just drop him off. You
And
well
know.
that's what I
do
was
it.
going to suggest. I think
Do
you
it.
should drop him off with the schizophrenic family before he start exhibiting those symptoms.
But the thing is,
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I
hold
knew
up,
it was
hold up,
fucking
hold up,
coming. I
because
knew it.
hold,
I knew it. I knew it.
hold up, because
Mm.
I don't know everything, and that's why I'm up here, right? So y'all can enlighten me and teach me.
Well, that's
Okay,
what
so
we're
I'm
I
off
doing.
told
script.
you to drop him
It's
off.
not rocket science, ma'am.
Yeah, you just gotta drop him off, and you immediately was getting ready to come up with an excuse that you can't drop him off. So, what I know that I went to the University of South Florida, right? And here's the deal: them teachers and professors didn't give a fuck what my background was. If I didn't have the homework or the money, they went on ahead and went in regardless. Women are dying, and I'm sorry if I'm not being gentle, but the shit is getting out of hand. Women that look like you are dying, ma'am. So it's not about Well, I didn't know. Well, she didn't do. I mean, you got a lot of finger pointing going on, and I'm sorry that whatever happened to you in that marriage happened. I'm trying to tell these girls though, don't do what a lot of black women did, and that includes yourself.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm just trying to figure out what the heck do I do with this child because sending him over
Sir.
there. The thing is he's gonna end up killing this child. He's gonna kill this baby.
Oh,
Ma'am.
The
Maybe you
man
went to
that y'all
college. I'm pretty sure you're smart and you're an educated woman, so I'm pretty sure you know how to take care of that. And if you're too emotionally connected to your son, then you're just gonna have to deal with it. You're just gonna have to deal with it. And there's nothing that we can say to help you because you're still gonna be with your son at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to see if anybody had any other
There,
solutions or
I do, I
Don't
do,
get on
I
this
do,
panel.
I do, I do.
I don't
I'm gonna
understand
tell
why
you
y'all
this.
are so upset.
Listen, I'm telling you this. I'm not upset. I'm annoyed with the fact that y'all keep coming up with excuses. You know that there are several states that are basically don't ask, don't tell. You can take kids to fire stations all the way up until they're 17 years old. You also have child protective services. You also can check yourself into a mental health institute and tell them that I am unfit and I'm feeling homicidal and every other sidal. They will get him out of your way, ma'am. So I don't get it.
I'm
But
annoyed
That's
with the
not my
fact that
question.
the
My question
topic.
isn't. I'm sorry. Somebody was
I'm
speaking.
annoyed
I
with the
didn't even.
fact that the topic was Black women activism and what they've gotten out of that, or what the prizes have been for Black woman activism. And everybody tonight wants to call up here talking about their sons, and I'm not understanding that. Like, is
I'm
there
because
sorry,
that's
some
all
type
they
of
matter.
Because they are
disconnect
I
black
against the
only
women.
addressed
original
that.
topic?
I only talked about my
Because
son because I was asked. That's the only reason I brought my son up.
because
Has done that tonight. So I'm trying to figure out, where did this come in at, where
I can
everybody
tell
thought that
you.
that's what the topic
this is
was.
coming
I
from the reason I came up here, and I'll answer your question because it's posed towards me, right? I came up here because
Oh
this
no, it
video that
wasn't
y'all,
just you. I was talking about in general because you're not the
right,
only one.
right. But I came up here because I can relate to that incident that this grandiose person or whatever has done. That could have easily been my child.
Yeah. No,
So
I
what
appreciate you
I'm
coming up. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you for sharing your story because we jumping around from issue to issue to issue to issue. I'm trying to give you a solution, which is drop your son off. And now you're talking about what, could have been
How is
you
that a
with these people.
solution to preventing him from being killed? So, or preventing him from
Listen, ma'am, then
becoming degenerate?
you're not going to be able to divest if you are consumed with your son's life. That's it. You're going to have to wait till he grow the fuck up and then you do something about your divestment. Because if you are encompassed with this black male child, then it's going to pose you a bunch of problems.
You're saying I
I'm
can't divest with a black child. I can't divest.
No, that's
Why
not
That
what
are
I
doesn't make
you
said.
any
over
sense.
If
here
you
talking
stop,
about?
if you stop trying to start talking before I finish my sentence, then you'll hear what I'm saying. There's plenty of black women with black sons that have divested. They not having issues and trying to figure out some shit to do with their black son. They've either done it. There's several women in my Discord that took their sons to their father. Period. If you're still in life-saving mode with your son, then you're gonna have some issues with your divestment. That's what I said.
Okay, I don't understand what you're saying, but that's fine. Maybe I'll understand it later. But I appreciate
Okay.
your patience because I genuinely did come up here for some help.
Okay, well then, just like I told Miss M and tons of other women before you, you're supposed to inbox me either on my Gmail or Patreon if you need a one-on-one, because that's what you need. You need a one-on-one.
Okay, thank you, DZ.
Thank you. Peace out. I don't know if Dharma's Crockpot is trolling back here, but
I
hunty.
cannot. I cannot.
I didn't know so many baby mamas listen to the divestment channels. Like,
We do because we want to know if we really want to know are we automatically mammies because we gave birth to black boys, things like that. I
You're
didn't come
trying to
up here to
skip.
talk about my
You
son.
did try to
I
skip.
didn't come up
Lord
here.
have mercy.
And
I don't
now
know
you
why
running
the
your
fuck a
mouth,
bitch.
and
I don't
this
know
shit
why
finna
a
get
bitch
loud.
thinks she gonna be able to overtalk me over here. I don't know what type of punk motherfucker y'all think I am, but you got me fucked up. If you want to skip to the front of the fucking line, you can do that, man. But whatever happens, happens. I've addressed this several times up here about black women and their black sons. So since you don't got the time to listen to the other videos, you gonna come stop everybody conversation, right? And throw your sons up here and tell us who they are. And they 19 and he ain't like this. And he Puerto Rican. No, listen, go back and listen to the other videos. The fact of the matter is y'all not gonna be able to divest because of the relationship you have with them sons of y'all. It just is what it is. You trying to slide shit and turn the blocks a different way and put shit at a different angle. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And on top of that, if anybody talks over you, you would be frustrated as well. How the fuck dare you just try to overtalk the person that owns the goddamn channel, or at least they names on it? That's weird. If you're not going to put your son in check, bitch, don't try to put me in check. Let me repeat that. If you can't put your sons in check, bitch, don't try to put me in check. You got me fucked up. I'm not your son, okay? I'm not going to be patient with bullshit. People are dying out here, and you trying to make it about your son, and I cannot go.
Exactly. I mean, they ain't gonna get an attitude because don't nobody want to hear that shit, man. Ain't nobody trying to discuss y'all sons. What the fuck?
Everything is about black men.
I cannot.
Everything is about black men. Everything is about black men and the black
completely
men. Everything.
hijacked the conversation. They hijacked the whole goddamn conversation. Kyra was making a point about the black heaviest mailers and the genetics, and they just took that shit and completely ran with it. Completely derailed the whole goddamn conversation with that bullshit. I cannot.
Well, Aaliyah, who knows? This might low-key in a way be my fault because getting into the genetics and having it make sense probably struck a nerve.
Bring out the mammies.
What conversation is not derailed by bitches and their sons? You could be talking about a pizza recipe. You could be talking about bail reform, shoe sizes, and fingernail polish. And they gonna squeeze that little nigga into the conversation every goddamn time. Every fucking time. Because that's all that matters in the black community.
But the last caller said, how is that going to prevent my son from being killed? I didn't know we were shielding these niggas.
Thank you. Thank you. How is that going to save my son's life? I literally am the last person on earth you should be asking about saving a black male child's life. Literally. The only person that probably would come before me is somebody that's in one of those supremacist groups, ma'am, because I can't stand their asses just as much as them. That part. Saving your son's life, that don't even make the cut for me. It doesn't.
It's not even that. Like, these women come up here because they open their legs for a nigga and think we gonna have the solutions. Ma'am, go to the father. Why do these women always want to go to everybody else except the father? But when you ask them where the father at and what the father gonna do, they quiet. And we in the wrong because we asking where the pappy at. We didn't even have sex with you, ma'am.
I already know where the pappy is. The FBI and the goddamn CDC know where the pappy is too. And when you sit up there and try to be the exception for these niggas, then you end up with a schizophrenic baby father. It just is what it is. Okay.
What were you gonna say, Kyra? I thought I heard you gonna say something.
I just wanted to point out, to reiterate what DZ has said. Yes, you can be a divester with a black son. There's some of the most savage divestors you see in the comments and who've actually been on this panel have black sons.
Thank you. I was just co-signing because they're trying to make this shit more complicated than what it is. Three times somebody asked me, so you saying I can't divest with a black son? So is that what you saying? Hey, DZ, ZD, whatever your name is, are you telling me I can't divest with a black son? Listen, y'all invest in stock in hearing aids, please, because apparently they finna go up. Sorry, Kyra. Go ahead.
I guess they haven't grasped the concept that if your son is still that if he still means that much to you, you eventually you gonna hate our rhetoric and you gonna hate us because they kill me trying to pretend like they don't have a problem with the hashtag all, but you do have a problem with the hashtag all, because if you really felt like it was all, you wouldn't be over here trying to convince us that your son is the exception. So no, you already know we don't go by that unicorn bullshit. All means all when we say from the window to the walls, from NICU to the grave. So that means all. Then you're not gonna play these fucking word games and tell us, well, he looks like a black man, but he's not. Because he got the Africanness from me though. See, his daddy is, something else. He European and indigenous and all this other stuff. But but he looks like a black man though. But yeah, it's something wrong with that Y chromosome. Yeah, it's like, girl, bye. Ain't nobody got time for that bullshit.
I totally
I
agree with you. Yep. She said that he didn't have the Y chromosome, trying to make him an exception. But yet she said she took him out of the environment, but yet out of her mouth, she said he still chose to be black. So it doesn't matter if he doesn't have the chromosome. If this nigga want to be a nigga, then that's just, you gonna have to deal with it if you don't want to drop him off.
Well, I mean, I don't see the point of bringing up that he looks like a black man if he doesn't see himself as a black man, and you don't, and we never would have known that had she not said that. So how is that relevant to the conversation at all? That's why she was confusing the fuck out of me, because I'm like, what are you talking about?
Because she never should have brought him up.
You're saying that he looks like a black man, but he's not. So what is your point? That shit is crazy.
He's also confused about the heritage of Puerto Ricans. Again, Puerto Ricans are a mixture of white, African American, and Native American. Look, you remember, DZ, I told you 3 out of 8 of my great grandparents are full-blooded Native Americans. Again, African Americans, Black Americans, we have that same racial mixture as the Puerto Ricans. We just speak English where they speak Spanish.
Honestly, Kyra, y'all, none of y'all don't have to go through all of that. What you just witnessed here was some people trying to make it to where I still want to divest, but I also want to be able to put my son in the mix. That's really all that is. Honestly, several of these women, that's either in the chat and on the panel, they have talked to me one-on-one, and I have never ever tried to shoehorn my son into any goddamn thing. I don't give a fuck if his father is white. It ain't about him. It's about me around this motherfucker, period. Now, can we get the fuck back to the other story I wanted to show y'all? God damn. I mean, them sons is a motherfucker.
They ruined everything.
I completely forgot what the live was about. No, I'm just joking. I remembered.
I mean, my son. Look, y'all. Let me scroll, because I literally, now this is one that probably looks like some of the sons that were discussed tonight, and nobody's fucking with them. But look what happens.
Another nasty attack in the New York City subway system, and it's caught on camera. A suspect pushed a 26-year-old man right onto the tracks at the East 149th Street and Southern Boulevard train station in the Bronx. Happened Saturday morning.
There goes those indigenous motherfuckers. Look, like I said, this motherfucker has hair that's a looser texture, and he's kind of light bright. In the area that he's in, 9 times out of 10, half of his goddamn parentage is on the Hispanic side. The other side is black, because that's a lot of that shit happens in New York. Okay. They still out here fucking folks up. Point blank fucking period. So what's the point? I don't get it, y'all. Anyway.
DC, you're gonna have to go from smoke night to baby mama night.
That look, when I do have smoke night, there don't be no smoke. No smoke comes to the goddamn panel. When there's an actual productive conversation going on, like stay your ass away from the black community and don't mule for them, that's when it has to be derailed. I got a quick question about, and literally when somebody comes up here, I'm like, what you got on the topic? Yeah, that's fucked up. But let me tell you about my son. What? Nefertiti, welcome to the panel, ma'am.
Hey, DZ. Hey, ladies on the panel, ladies in the chat, and our zaddies who may be cloud watching. Thank you for hanging out with us through all this madness. The first thing I want to say in response to all these ladies and their thuns, cognitive dissonance and distracting, that's a hell of a drug, ain't it?
All
So
day.
like I just don't get I don't understand these women. I don't understand people like this. But
You should get
anyway,
far away from their ass. I'm telling you, look at the way just look at everything they got going on. It's like, let's play Black Son. Turn that card over. Is he black? Does he look black? No, his daddy ain't black. Look, they are obsessed with them niggas. They are.
girl, look. Just so everyone knows, don't worry. I don't have any sons. I have never slept with a black man of my own choice. So I'll just let that be known real quick. So yeah. So with this guy, but you know what? It's so funny that they will push this. They will push this. Oh, he's got a different dad, or he's mixed. Or I actually know a black. Well, I guess he's black guy, but he's mixed. And he really would play those blue eyes like a goddamn ace in the hole. I swear to God. And like you can see how bad he was, but the women around him were just like, and when you say, can we say the D word? Should I just say cock dizzy? Is that more?
You can say dick. Apparently, that's what got all these bitches dizzy. So you might as
That's
well.
look. You're talking about dick dizzy. They was dick dizzy, eye dizzy. They was all the dizzies. Whatever level of dizzy they could get. Look, just dicknotized. Listen. I'm laughing because I'm seeing this in my mind when I used to be there. But yeah, no, I don't get it. And before, if we could just please rewind back before all the sun, the sun protection police system, whatever that was, came up here. If we could go back to the one that was trying to run a baby over, can we address that real quick? You're also worried about your sons. They running over babies. Last week, what was it? Last week or the week before, one was pouring water down their throats. Like what?
Boiling water.
Explain to me. Boiling water.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to explain to me. Why are you so? Look, go ahead.
It's somebody right now, several black women that's making plans and texting niggas right now with all this shit out here. Probably listening to the live talking about, well, not him. I can see what they saying, but not him. It's always that goddamn not all. And that is why folks be having a problem with me. It's that 3-letter word. All bothers them. Let me see if I can get them to contort this for my uncle, my son, or my brother. My daddy is biracial. Ass motherfucking bitches always got some shit going on. But hey, what you gonna do?
Right. And this is when we talk about that accountability. It's like, look, you've already made the mess you're in. I need you to take accountability and make a decision on what you're about to do. You can't keep running to people saying, I made a mistake, fix it. No, I'm gonna need you to fix it. However it is you fix it, you need to fix it. You laid down, you made it. That's your problem. That is nobody else's problem at this point.
They be pretending like there's no solutions. The solution is something that they don't like. Okay, This is a solution-based motherfucking area. And the solution is get rid of them motherfucking niggas in your life. And we're not talking about just the ones you cherry pick to remove. All of them. Okay, because the majority of black women's problems started with somebody's son. Okay, so if you remove them, at least you won't. I'm not saying you won't have problems later on, but they won't be blackmail based. Can you at least start there? Some people be like, oh, well, since I'm going to have problems anyway, I might as well just keep going with this black man. It's any excuse to go ahead and stay with black men. You got people that'll roast black men all motherfucking day and then lay down and suck that motherfucker all the way down to the base. It just is what it is. And because you don't say, okay, well, maybe he'll be all right. No, but ultimately it's your life. You do what you want to do. I know what the fuck I'm going to do. I'm going to eat tacos that a whole white man made tonight. That's what I'm going to do, right? With extra salsa on the motherfuckers, okay? And a lemonade with ice. That's what the fuck I'm going to do. So if you are going to try to find a way to keep niggas in your life, well, more power to you, baby. It's just more goddamn content for me, period.
There we go. All right. I just, that's all I wanted to say. And as far as this asshole in the video right now, look, ladies, again, every single one of the all. Like I had a conversation with the ladies earlier today in the chat, and I brought up my father, and I was like, I want y'all to understand, when I say all, I mean him too. All of the all. So go ahead, DZ, do your thing. Do your thing.
They don't like that shit. Let me check on the folks in the back, and then I'm gonna take my ass to Discord. And you already know I ain't even gonna talk behind your back, ladies. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this conversation is gonna get real nasty in Discord tonight, and it's gonna be a lot nastier than it was up here because I can't say what I really want to say to you up here. Miss me with these excuses. Nyla Moon, are you dusty?
I am not.
What you got on the topic? I'm getting up out of here, so go ahead and make it quick, boo. So, because I got to get to Discord. I got to get this shit off my tongue.
Yeah. Okay, so I was kind of late to your live, but thank you for bringing up those women that had those experiences even while they're being activists. Like my little sister. She's like a year younger than Toyin, and so is my oldest niece. So that really like made me realize like it's so fucked.
Yeah, everybody got to get away from these niggas. They really do, or they're gonna end up like them. Not as catastrophic as Toyin, maybe, but something on that spectrum ends up happening. Baby mamahood, the loss of your fucking ovaries and your ability to reproduce, and all that type of shit, and everything in between. Why even test that shit out?
Yes.
Dahmer's crockpot. Are you wait? I almost fucked up. Let me go ahead and put that banner up here. Dahmer's crockpot. Are you dusty?
DZ, it's me, Tia Beanie.
Hey Tia, how are you?
Good. I warned you guys. I already warned you guys that I was going to do this.
I'm not fucking with y'all. Tia, click the goddamn Discord link and we finna drag your ass tonight.
Love you guys.
I see your ass in Discord, Tia. Goddamn. I can't, y'all so goddamn silly. I don't know what to do. See you beautiful women on Friday and leave your sons at home next time. God damn it. I love you. I'm out.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.